Hey guys, excuse me. Completely lost track of time. Was doing some stuff. All right, hey Kat, Kat. I'm sending love your way for a better day than yesterday. Although I did hear you say that it turned out better. It ended up being better. Still, if I have a choice, it would be that it starts good, it stays good, and ends even better. All right. I'm going to read what I wrote today, and then I want to read from lesson 156. I'm going to give it a minute and see if anyone shows up. I got a little bit of a headache. Don't know why. Maybe allergies. It's been cold out the past few mornings. Hey, Tandra, Cat and Jack, Raid. Hey, Yogi. Well, thank you guys for coming over. Much appreciated. Tandra, how are you? Tandra, I love the cows. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for your channel, for starting your channel again, for always having such beautiful content. And thank you for the cows. You know I'm a sucker for cows. Tandra says, I'm great. Thank you. Great to be back in touch. It is. Hey, Lucy. Tandra says, thanks, Eric. You're welcome. So, you know what? I was thinking about prayer this morning. The Course Miracles in the Song of Prayer talks about the ladder. There's a ladder of prayer. And we start from, hey, Lee, we start at the bottom of this, the bottom rung, which is praying for stuff. It's a low-level prayer because we believe the things that we need are outside of us, right? We believe that we have to plead and petition God for the things that we need. We're praying from that level of need. But we pray at a level of vibration. So if we are praying out of need, guess what we get more of? We get more need. The top level, we start to recognize that we don't need to pray for things as we pray for the benefit of others, as we pray just for the sake of praying instead of asking. We realize we have everything that we need already. Hey, Anna. Then the highest level is just simple communion. We're praying to communicate. We're praying to love. We're praying to understand. Hey, Carl. Carl says, me and certain people are finished. I'm sorry, Carl. Kat says, hi, I'm rushing around last minute. Getting ready. Love y'all. We love you too. So this is what I wrote. It's titled Perfect Love. My prayer life is mainly a request for reinterpretation, asking to see certain situations and my judgment of people through the eyes of Christ over the viewpoint of ego would have me see. There's still a sense of need present, a belief that lack persists, and often no small amount of fear. But these are now signs for correction, calling for me to turn even deeper within to heal this misperception. And I do, gladly so, knowing that my only true prayer is one of constant remembrance of God in every situation. My prayer is to know myself as perfect love. As the Course says, perfect love casts out fear. If fear exists, then there is not perfect love. But only perfect love exists. If there is fear, it produces a state that does not exist. So, our fear, And so my prayer life continues. That was the end. So everything that pops up in our life, if it stems from fear, judgment stems from fear, dissatisfaction stems from fear, um, a sense of lack, a sense of any resentment, any grievances, all stems from fear. Fear comes from fear comes from the ego. If it comes from the ego, it means it doesn't truly exist. Hey, Falcon, it doesn't exist. I'm okay, Anna. I'm doing pretty good. Getting ready to take my walk. A little longer walks on Saturday and Sundays because I don't really have much of a workout. Lee says, Carl, I hope that doesn't include me. I was pan frying scallops last night. Was you alive? So I had to do a pancetta film. So apologies for dropping in and out, buddy. Carl says we're not good. I'm sorry, Carl. So that sort of signifies that ladder of prayer. No longer praying for need, but praying that I can reinterpret that which I recognize. It's very important to recognize where you are, what you're thinking, how you're feeling. By what you are, I don't mean your surroundings. I mean, where are you as far as your thoughts are concerned? Where are you as far as your judgment is concerned? Where are you as far as your life is concerned? Recognize, allow, acknowledge, and then ask for reinterpretation. So often we get this type of information that yoga offers, that Buddhism offers, that A Course in Miracles offers, that any spiritual path offers, meditation. And we try to block it out. We try to bypass it. I'm not supposed to be thinking this. Positive thoughts only. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. You can't mask your fear. You can't mask your grievances or your resentments or your judgments. And you shouldn't have to, because it just creates conflict. Just know that you can choose another teacher. Fear comes from the ego. Love comes from spirit. Spirit is real. Ego is false. That's simple. When you are experiencing anything that is false, anything that seems fearful, and fear has many, many, many different aspects, many disguises. Learn to recognize them all. Any judgment against another is based in fear, meaning it's false, and you can choose another teacher. You can ask, can I see this differently? Ask lovingly. You were given a gift of recognition, recognizing I'm in fear, recognizing that I'm judging this person, this situation, this event, recognizing that I have resentment, that I have grievances. Just recognize, acknowledge, allow, don't fight it, allow, and then ask a prayer. Can I see this differently? I would turn this over to Spirit. I would turn this over to Jesus. I would turn this over to Krishna, to Buddha. Pro says Allie knows why. Well, I hope she helps you. Anna says, sending you lots of very positive vibes, Carl. Lee says, Carl, let's go live Saturday morning. See if we can have some fun. Carl says, people let him down yesterday. Lee says, Yogi, I think we could all have taken a little bit from yesterday's live, just about being patient, kind, and tolerance. I agree. Lee, was there something particular? What are your thoughts on the whole thing? Hey, Timo. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Timo. How are you, my friend? Hey, Easy. Easy, what's up? Easy, how are you enjoying your new job? It's really not quite new anymore, right? Several months now. Tanya says hi to Timo. We get some, let's see, Lucy says hello to Timo. Sends him some unicorn vibes. Anna says, good morning, Optimum family. Hey, Sissy. Sissy, you feeling even better today? Easy says, officially 6 months in. Awesome. How are you enjoying it? You ready for a promotion? I'm going to put in a good word for you. Sorry, guys. Hey, before I dive into lesson 156, which came to my attention earlier this morning, let me show off my new pen again. This is from Nature's Dog Realm. Made herself. How awesome is that? Pretty awesome is what I have to say. People will pay for upsetting me. I hope not. One, I hope you don't get upset. Two, I hope no one pays for it. I hope they realize the errors of their way. Let's see. Tanya says, Yogi, I was listening yesterday. Love the people that came to up to join you. The Monster Mash was great. The Monster Mash was great. We're going to have more versions of the Monster Mash, including possibly, maybe, mine and Chris's, Nature's Dog Realm. I can't promise. I might cheat and have her sing it all on her own. I did dance a little bit. Sissy says, that is a badass pen. That is a badass pen. I'm going to tell Chris that you said that. Badass pen. She'll love it. Let's see. Sissy says, Carl, let's turn that frown upside down. Today, bro star. I love you, bub. Thanks for listening, Tandra. We're going to be singing tonight. If anyone would like to send me a song via email, I'm just putting it out there. Lee says, I can't understand how seems to affect people. Oh, TK, Tiger King seems to affect people to the extent that they would remove themselves from here. For me, I've never seen him be rude or offensive. Repetitive, yes. I agree. A little bit of paranoia as well. But whenever we put that judgment in there, we're saying it's not all right to be how you are. It's not all right for you to have an illness. It's not all right for you to suffer from something. It's not all right that I don't understand you, and it's not all right that I don't even seek to understand you. My hope is not to create a place that offers that sense of security and peace, because that's an illusion. It doesn't really exist. There's no safe place on the internet. Anyone can show up and upset your peace of mind by saying certain things, right? My goal has always been to offer an alternative to choosing to be upset, and it is a choice. But because it happens, and it seems to happen outside of us, we don't realize it's a choice. We don't realize that we can turn this over to another aspect of our mind. If we're upset, that is an aspect of our mind. I don't know why I think it's on the left side. No offense to my left-handed people, my left-handed friends. And we can choose another side of the mind. The psychology of A Course in Miracles says we have the ego, which is always choosing those grievances, those resentments, and fear, anxiety. And we have the Holy Spirit, which is always love. It's the voice for God, not the voice of God, the voice for God. Whatever God, whatever term, the Tao, whatever you want to use. And we're constantly choosing one or the other, but we don't even realize we have a choice. The whole practice of yogic psychology, Buddhist psychology, of course, miracle psychology is to show us we have a choice. In yoga, it's the 5 afflictions. Same with Buddhism, 5 afflictions of the mind. Literally, afflictions. We're seeing life through these lenses. We don't realize that we could see life in the bare essence of what it really is. Kat says, Tiger King is a mirror. Sometimes a mirror of affection ain't great. No, it ain't. That's for sure. Dang it. Sissy says, I'm feeling better for the most part. Majority of issues are related to the throat right now. Still on a expectorant for the lungs. I was able to do housework yesterday, but wore me out quickly. I bet. I'm glad you're on the mend though. Lee says, Carl, and Sissy's defense, she is still battling an illness and just getting over it. Don't take it personally. She'll be there again, I'm sure, buddy. Tandra's laughing. You picked up on my subtle message, Tandra? Sissy says, I'm on the men, Carl. Please stop digging for a reason to be bothered and know that we love you very much. Falcon says, maybe stop puffing the skunk. Me? I have not for quite some time. Your feelings definitely do matter, Sissy. Sending you love, my friend. Sending you love. Kat says, Carl likes to voice what's in his mind, but the truth is he's very forgiving. Well, we're speaking the truth. And we're calling people out. I'm going to call out Kat and Jack. Because not only is she very forgiving, she's a very, very loving person. Falcon says, fly high, my people. Thank you, Falcon. I understand, Sissy. Kat says, gotta go. Bye, y'all. Bye, Kat. Have a wonderful day. Nature says, bye, Kat. Can I ask you about that, or is it against YouTube guidelines? Puffing the skunk? I like that expression, by the way. You know what bothers me, though? Because it's legal. I smell it everywhere, even when I'm out in the woods looking for wildlife. And I think I'm going to get a great film clip of a skunk, and instead it's a bunch of teenagers sitting on a log. Carl says Yogi likes missing messages. I actually don't like it, but I do it. I do miss a lot of messages, so I apologize. But you know what? I ask people, would you rather me just read messages or go about and do my own stuff and then dive back in and then do my own stuff? And everyone said, you know, they'd rather have the rants, the raves, the shaking my hands, going on about spatulas and spoons and skunks and all kinds of other stuff. Hey, Nino. How are you, my friend? What did it do for me and why did I stop? It made me paranoid is why I stopped. I just didn't enjoy it any longer. What it did for me, it helped me, it sparked my creativity for a while. It was a great doorway into a greater creative aspect of my mind. It relaxed me and it allowed a weird part of my personality to come forward and step fully into just not caring, you know, just not caring. If I'm weird, so be it. I'm weird. And it really brought that forward. But as with everything, you step through. It's a gate. But you don't need to keep stepping through the same gate over and over again. So it becomes very limiting. Like everything, you got to let it go and you have to, even in the end, A Course in Miracles says, let the course go and come empty-handed onto your God. Tools are wonderful, but they're not the thing, right? Once it's realized, let the tools go. Now, some people say, does that include meditation? Maybe for some. For me, meditation and prayer, just silent communion. Not even communication, communion. So I like to sit, and I like to sit using my mantra until I let the mantra go, and then I just sit in silence. Sissy says, hello, everyone. All of you matter. Agreed. Does that make sense, Easy? If it helps you, awesome. And if it helps in ways, medicinally speaking, reducing stress, anxiety, awesome again. Sissy says, perhaps I will go puff on the skunk and rethink things later. But as of now, I don't appreciate being challenged to be forgiven for something I didn't do. I can understand that, Sissy. I'm not 100% sure that was the intent behind it. I would say actually the intent was loving. I don't want to challenge you either way. And I'm not being evasive about it. I'm not sitting on the fence. I just want to put out the one thing that we're talking about here. Everything can be open to our own reinterpretation. Am I seeing it through the lens of ego? It's not bad. It just means I'm seeing my interpretation and not the actuality. Or can I see it? Can I ask to see it? Can I ask to see this another way? Everything provides us an opportunity to say, can I see this through the eyes of love? Can I see this through the eyes of Christ? Can I see this through the eyes of Buddha? Everything, every single thing. So what a great opportunity. What a great way to go through life, because now we no longer take anything personally, because everything is an opportunity, a learning opportunity, and a teaching opportunity, because we teach what we most need to learn. So if people say, well, that's easy for you, you're a teacher of A Course in Miracles, I'm a teacher of A Course in Miracles, I'm a teacher of yoga, because that's what I most need to learn. I feel the same way as you guys in everything. Lee says, don't worry, I did nothing wrong. I think Carl can be upset easy, but he needs to understand some of us have children or may be busy doing personal. Please don't be upset. And she says she's not upset. You always do your best, sissy. And it says, can I see this through the eyes of love? All right, let me read a little bit from lesson 156. Easy says, yes, I have the same exact spirit. The exact same experience. I was constant use for about 7 years, and it began to make me very paranoid, specifically about health issues. Occasionally I will, but I pretty much quit. Like anything, it just becomes less effective with its constant use, but it becomes a habit. And we think the thoughts that we're thinking under its influence are productive without realizing it's just another affliction of the mind, as they would say in yoga and Buddhism. Rocket says, what would my higher self do? Tamika Lovebug, 2025. I don't know, Tamika. Lee says, I love the pinned comment Yogi uploaded 9 weeks ago. Is the thought you're having now the most loving thought? I may have got that wrong, to be honest. So if you got it wrong, and I don't remember the exact, but if you got it wrong, you got it right too, because that is still an awesome way to go through life and think about. Susie says, my higher self doesn't have a skunk to puff on. And that part was a joke. Right now, there's a skunk in the woods saying, hey, man, what did I do? Why are you guys picking on me? Everyone wanting to puff. All right. Anyway, lesson 156. I love this. Paragraph 4. Perfect description. This is who you guys are. There is a light in you which cannot die, whose presence is so holy that the world is sanctified because of you. A light within you. It's who you are. You are that light. All things that live bring gifts to you and offer them in gratitude and gladness at your feet. The scent of flowers is their gift to you. The waves bow down before you, and the trees extend their arms to shield you from the heat and lay their leaves before you on the ground that you may walk in softness, while the wind sinks to a whisper around your holy head. Man, what a beautiful line. The light in you is what the universe longs to behold. All living things are still before you, for they recognize who walks with you. The light you carry is their own, and thus they see you in their holiness, saluting you as Savior and as God. Accept their reverence, for it is their due to holiness itself, which walks with you, transforming in its gentle light all things unto its likeness and its purity. The past is gone with all its fantasies. They keep you bound no longer. The approach to God is near. And in the little interval of doubt that still remains, you may perhaps lose sight of your companion. Your companion is always God, always love, and mistake him for the senseless ancient dream that is now past. Who walks with me? This question should be asked 1,000 times a day, till certainty has ended the doubting and establishes peace. Today, let doubting cease. God speaks for you in answering your question with these words: I walk with God in perfect holiness. I light the world. I light my mind and all the minds which God created one with me. Your job is to recognize that light within another. That is the essence of Namaste. The light within me recognizes and salutes the light within you. The light within you recognizes and salutes the light within me. We offer that so that we can see it ourselves. We look for it in another, not for their benefit. That light doesn't need our benefit. We need it. We recognize ourselves by seeking the light within another. This is everything that I want to offer on my channel. Not that safe place, not that sanctuary, not something that has been falsely purified to have people think, well, this is a good place to be, right? No, you might get confronted here. You're going to get confronted everywhere on the internet. You're going to get confronted in the grocery store, most certainly when you're driving someplace. You're going to get confronted with someone that steals your parking place. You're going to get confronted with someone who cuts you off in traffic. You're going to get confronted with someone who flips you off. You're going to get confronted with someone who is trying to get in front of you in a traffic jam when they went up the side of the highway when they weren't supposed to. They should have waited their place. Life is going to confront you. On my live stream, on every single live stream you ever go to, on your live stream, someone's going to pop up and push your buttons. You don't even need to get rid of the buttons. Just recognize that you have them and recognize that no one can actually push them. No one can actually push them. If your buttons exist within your mind and they exist within the mind that is fearful, and if fear is based on an illusion, the ego, no one can actually push those buttons. Not even you, once you recognize them and choose otherwise. Just remember that you and everyone else walk with God in perfect holiness. You are the light of the world. You light your mind and all the minds which God created one with you. Hey, Kelly. Carl is live. Lucy says, yeah, I'm better. Soul searching on what I really want. I know on what I want, Sebastian. I know what I want. And that is me. I'm happy there. Easy says, lesson 156. I'm locked in. Awesome, Easy. So I'm happy to help with people in your own study of the course. If you want to pick it up, there's free online version. I like having a copy in my hand. I'll even help you get a copy if you want. But go to the Foundation of Inner Peace. You can also get a Kindle version if you want. But the Foundation of Inner Peace, the original publisher of A Course in Miracles, has a free online version, and you can listen to it audio as well. There's also great YouTube channels that walk you through the whole thing from day 1 to day 365. So here's a little thought on relationships. We're already in a relationship with everyone, regardless. The only goal of a relationship is to go from a special relationship, and all relationships are special because they make us feel a certain way. We have special love relationships, special work relationships, we have special hate relationships. The only goal of these relationships are to turn them into a holy relationship. A holy relationship is based upon forgiveness. So we can't escape relationships in a relational world. Relativity, right? If someone comes in here and they are seeming to push my buttons, if someone comes in here and they're agitating me, they're making me mad, they're making me angry, they're making me fearful, that's a special relationship. And one that I certainly don't need, right? Except they do need it in order to be able to change it into a holy relationship, which transforms me into an instrument of holy peace. Remember the great prayer of St. Francis, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is despair, doubt. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is doubt, faith. Let's see. Hey, Sniper. Kelly says, how are you this morning? I'm doing pretty good, Kelly. He says, like that, Yogi? Don't remember what I said. Once it's out, it's out. Once I speak it, my mind's like, well, we don't need to hold that anymore. Easy says, when was the last time you were angry? I asked that because you always seem so at peace, and I'm wondering how you deal with it from a real world experience. Let's see, it's 5:34. Last time I was angry, maybe 5:20-ish, maybe 5 o'clock, maybe 4-ish. Certainly yesterday. I still get angry. Yesterday for sure. I was angry with my brother and sister, feeling that they are not cooperating with some very, very serious issues that need to be addressed. Pushing it down the road, putting it all on me. This has to do with my father's will. All of it was supposed to be handled 4 years ago by the executor, who was not me. Anyway, I definitely got angry. I expressed it internally within myself. I recognized this anger. The Course says there are no small grievances, which is very important because sometimes we want to hold on to that little sliver. Carl is ending his live stream. Even a little sliver of a grievance is still a rupture in our peace of mind, or seems to be. I can choose peace instead of this. So as soon as I recognized my anger and that I was having little angry thoughts, little resentments, little grievances, lots of judgment, just smiled and I asked, can I see this a different way? And it didn't take long for me to do so. Forgiveness brings instant peace. It's not about letting someone off the hook. It's not about behavior. It's not about anything that has to do in the external world, everything to do with the internal world, because it really is only the internal world. Let me see peace instead of this is forgiveness. Kelly says, I don't let people have control of my emotions. It takes away their power. Ultimately, we hold the key to that power, our choice. Lisa says, I see friendships and relationships differently. Relationships can be a love relationship. I just see them as friendship and relationship as love. I know people describe them differently. Gotcha. Hey, Todd. Todd says, I love very few things in life, probably 8 people, and I run on respect. It helps keep things at a distance. Thanks, and best to you always, man. Thank you, Todd. Happy to talk about that sometime. Hey, Scott, how are you, my friend? Hey, guys, Scott Ferguson is one of the great supporters on YouTube. Scott's entire channel exists to recognize people, to send love, to support. He's just this huge YouTube supporter. It's what he does. Scott is a beautiful, beautiful example of a human being, what we can all do. Just want to give a big shout out to Scott and say thank you, my friend. Lisa says, hello, Scott. Kelly says, I've been taken advantage of since my husband died and I can't change it. I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. Sending you love, my friend. Easy says, but how do you choose peace when you know someone else's lack of accountability will impact you negatively? Well, two things, maybe more. We don't actually choose peace, we ask. We can't do any of this. We are without power ourselves. And when I say I mean, when I say we, I mean the ego. So we ask that which resides in the mind alongside of the ego, but is actually true, the ego being false. We ask, can I see this from the perspective of love? That's it. Don't worry about accountability. Don't worry about impact. Don't worry about negativity. Just ask, can I see this differently? Can I see this through the eyes of love? And then wait. Even when we get a glimpse. Todd says, good morning, everyone, and hope everyone is well. You too, my friend. Velkin says, thank you so much, Eric, and chat. This has been a proper divine stream. Thank you, Velkin, my friend. Kelly says, thank you. You're welcome. Hey, super artists. Good morning. It's 10:38. It is 5:39 for us. Sissy says, Falcon, you're a part of the divinity. Absolutely. An essential part. As are you, Sissy. Hey, Stitch, my friend, how are you? What are we talking about? Man, we're all over the place. Easy says, I see. Seek love and let the rest progress accordingly. Absolutely. Remember, it's not about behavior. You're not asking to change anyone's behavior, even your own. You're just asking. It's a prayer, a soft and gentle prayer. Can I see things otherwise? Remember, an all-important prayer, God thinks otherwise. We have judgment, we have grievances, we have resentments. God thinks otherwise. We think we're always right by pointing a finger towards someone, holding them responsible for how we feel. God thinks otherwise. Every negative thought that we have about ourselves, every hateful thought that we have about another, every accusational belief, thought that we offer towards another, God thinks otherwise. And we think, how can I think with the mind of God? Easily. The mind of God resides within you. It's your connection. Everything is mind. You can translate mind to soul. You can translate mind to spirit. Whatever it is that works for you. You are a thought in the mind of God, still existing within the mind of God. Therefore, you can always choose God, because God has never not chosen you. Todd says, I will try being more loving to others this month. I will let you know how it works out, man. Thanks again. Here's, Todd, if I could offer one little suggestion. Just keep in mind kindness. Kindness is always gentle. Can you be kind towards others? And the most important thing is, can you be kind to yourself? In every situation, can you be kind to yourself? Because that will flow over, and it'll be so much easier to be kind to other people. If you are not choosing kindness for yourself, it's going to be really hard to be kind towards other people. My great teacher, Kenneth Wapnick, who resides in the imaginary part of my mind that is offering me teachings, sneaking in there when I need him the most, loved to say, be kind to everything. Be kind to everything, every single thing. Be kind to your keyboard when you're typing. Be kind to your fingers. Be kind to your fingernails. Be kind to the tip of your tongue as you're talking to someone. Recognize and be kind, be kind, be kind. Don't worry about other people. Be kind to yourself, and you'll find that it just spills over, and you're spontaneously, joyfully gently, being kind to everyone. Champ says in about 2 days, it's going to be 1 full year since I've known and spoken with Dino. 1 year of friendship. Come on by and we'll celebrate. On the anniversary. Lisa says, slow to easy. Fred says, thank you. Thank you, Fred. Thanks for being here. All of us are part of a single dream. Champ says, how you treat others is often a reflection of his true self on the inside. I always go back to Ramana Maharshi when he was asked by one of his followers, how do we treat others? And he smiled and said, there are no others. Hey, congratulations, Stitch. Stitch is getting baptized November 1st. That's just in a few more days. Big love to you, Stitch. Kelly says, so sorry, I remember when I was 4 years old, I asked my daddy, what if we were in someone's dream? Kelly says, nice to Stitch. She says, good morning, Anna. Lucy says, that's amazing to Stitch. Guys, we're going to head out in about 2 minutes. Hey, Dees. Dees says, lucky me, still streaming for about 2 minutes. Todd says, you're right, be kind. I'm so hard on myself and expect perfection. Sounds so easy, but thank you very much. You are welcome, my friend. That's the wonderful thing. We don't have to battle ourselves. If you find that you have not been kind to yourself, instead of getting upset and saying, I should have done this, I should have done that, just simply be kind. I did the best that I could under the present situation and circumstances that I then believed. Now, I choose to be kind. Man, what a mistake that I made. I can't believe I chose meanness over love. I can't believe I wasn't kind. It's okay. Now be kind. It's always now. You have this present moment. One of the great examples of forgiveness offered by Gerald Jambowski, one of the early teachers of A Course in Miracles. Forgiveness is recognizing that there is no hope for a better past. You will never have a better past. And guess what? There's only this moment, so the past doesn't truly exist. So give up hope for it ever being better, including that which just happened. Settle back into that present moment. Dee says, I hope you're having a good day. It's pretty good. Of course, it's still early, relatively. I've been up since about 2:15. So what, 3.5 hours or so? Kelly says, it already happened, can't change it. And Buddhism, particularly Zen, as well as yoga, as well as Course in Miracles, would tell you it didn't even happen. It only seems to happen. If the past doesn't exist, how could something have happened? Right? Sounds ridiculous, but the more that you present in the presence, the more that you relate to what's going on right now, the less weight and relevance that the past has. And then, of course, the immediate question is, but aren't we bound to repeat the mistakes of what happened in the present? What happened in the past? And the answer is why? Why would you think that you would repeat a mistake? The knowledge of what is right is present right now. You don't need a reminder. You don't need the past to remind you not to hurt someone. You don't need the past to remind you to stop at a red light. You know. Rely on the knowing. Cece says it's very inquisitive for a toddler. Must have been very conscious baby. I can absolutely relate deeply. Yep. When you were talking about asking your father if we were in someone's dream. Now, you know, Buddhism and yoga talks about Maya. It's all an illusion. It's all Maya. Goes on to even say, it calls it Lila, the divine play of consciousness, God's play. We're all actors. Anna says, I'm happy, Yogi. Awesome, Anna. I love it when you're happy, my friend. And the Course says that it's all a dream. We are still sleeping in the mind of God right now. In Genesis, it says Adam fell, Genesis. Adam fell into a deep sleep. But nowhere in the rest of the Bible does it say that Adam woke up. Adam is the primordial isness, the primordial beingness of who we truly are. Everything is a dream within that infinite mind of God. And our role is to wake up. And how we wake up is through forgiveness, because forgiveness confronts the dream. Forgiveness says, I choose the reality of you, the dreamer, instead of the illusion of the dream itself. That changes everything about the nature of forgiveness. It doesn't mean I let you off the hook. It doesn't mean that I forgive you because, or I will forgive you when I'm over it. It says I choose to see the reality of you asleep within the mind of God, Adam asleep within the garden, instead of the illusion of fear, which is everything. I'm going to read that little section that I wrote based upon a course. Perfect love casts out fear. Perfect love ends the illusion. If fear exists, then there is not perfect love, meaning we are existing within the illusion. But, or however, God thinks otherwise. Only perfect love exists. God is perfect love. God and perfect love is synonymous. So only God exists. If there is fear, it produces a state that does not exist, meaning we are participating in the illusion. We're participating in the belief that there is no God. The belief of God and fear can't coexist. And we could scrap the word belief to knowingness. And again, knowingness is in the present moment. All right, guys, I got to head out. I've been sitting too long. I need to get up and move again. Thanks for the unicorn vibes. Kelly says, I remember when things from when I was less than 2 years. Wow, it's incredible. Lucy says, see you later, Yogi Eric. See you, Lucy. Thanks for hanging out with us. I saw you over at Cats. One last chance to admire my pen. All right. Kelly says, that is amazing. All right, guys. I hope everyone had I hope everyone's had a good morning so far. I hope that this might have been a fruitful conversation. Drop the link, sissy. Kelly says, see y'all next time. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for hanging out with us. Falcon says, that dang pen. Don't be jealous. Remember the song from Daisy May? Daisy had a pen made from Nature's Dog Realm too. And when she was talking about it, she was singing, my pen's better than your pen. Don't be jealous. Don't hate on my pen. Anna says, wishing everyone a beautiful and blessed day. Hey, Kelly, if you want to see some amazing intuitive forecasting and readings, Sissy's going to drop a link to her channel. Head on over. She'll have a premiere coming up in just a bit. Do you get up early or sleep late? I get up early. I get up at 2:15 every day. There is a link. I hope to see you guys over there. Let me bring it up. All right. Sissy is one of a kind. All right. Gotta go. Love you all. And I will see you at 1 o'clock.